Hey, how are you? Welcome to Mike and the Minifans Long Sour and Recorded Broadcast History. I'm here with uh two out of the four people that are supposed to be here. Red, Red
Jesus.
from Maine. How are you?
I'm good, BA. How you doing?
I'm good. We got Mr. Montante. Montante, how are you?
Good. Nice vintage performance from John from Scranton. Letting people know he still has his fastball.
Well,
As
John,
much Adderall as he does, you think he'd be on top of things, but
John at 7:30. At 7:30, I was like, I texted him. I was like, "Can you send the link? Because I can make it, but I can't do the Rumble part for
that's
whatever
the biggest
reason."
part. Yeah.
So I can't do the Rumble part. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be here in 5." And then I call him 2 minutes before the show, and he says,
Caught up in a weird orgy with I don't know what the fuck he does on a Friday night.
I call him. He's like, "Don't you have the link?" And I was like, "No, man, that's why I'm calling you." And then he said,
No, man. I don't have that.
Brad, do you feel like a loser without? You're the only one here without a Spiegel scrap hat on. Do you feel left out?
No, not. Well, I would like one. Will you send one to me?
I have 6 in the back of my car, and I have about 20 people to send it to. So I don't know how. I might have to ask beyond average Mick. How do you give out merch to fans?
I'll only feel bad if you send one to Ziggy. You didn't send one to Ziggy, did you?
No,
Okay,
I don't have his address. He would never give that out.
No,
God
no.
forbid.
No.
he wouldn't give that out. Red's a controversial guy. I have many people DMing me saying, I want a gotcha moment him.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. BA, you and I are good. If you wanna, if you got, we don't have any issues, do we? Do other people hate me? I don't understand why people hate me.
I find you very annoying, but
I'm a nice guy, Montante. I like you. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
nice guy.
you're annoying. You're definitely annoying in the past,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Right? We've been good. Sneak says I won't give him the link. I didn't want it now that the gotcha moment's over. Manners texted me saying, "Don't give Sneaks the link. Give me the link. I have a better 1v1 versus Red."
I thought Manners wasn't coming on this network. I thought that was the deal. He didn't want to come on.
He's making his own rules just to break them.
Oh,
yeah.
That's too bad. Well, I missed.
But off week, Kirky Barstool week, there was the golf, a name show, but he was actually on a 4-play PMT.
Yeah.
So he was on a lot of different things. But what was your top thing Kirk was in this week? Red?
Yeah.
Montante, go.
Montante, the floor is yours. No.
I have a moment, and there's only like 2 moments to pick from, so I don't want him to steal mine. So
There's not much. We're very.
I was driving back from New Hampshire, and I was looking through things to listen to, and I was like, "All right, I'll give PMT a take again." Then you see in there, I think maybe it was in the full description. I just read half of it, but I saw Whitney. So when they got to it, he actually kicks it to obviously Kirk too. So that was a very pleasant surprise. And as far as I know, I think that's the first time. Wasn't it kind of a running joke that he's not big enough, or he jokes with Dan that he never gets the invite to a. Is that his first time appearing, or did he go on last year for golf as well? I think he may have with Riggs.
Yeah, he's been on before for sure. Yeah.
Is it always golf related?
It's always golf related. I think it might have even been the Masters. I think it's always something there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a nice listen. Big Cat knows more about golf than I would give him credit for.
It's all going to be gambling related too, I'm sure. Like that's all that Big Cat knows for that reason.
It was all about the course, the Masters course. A lot of inside info there. I thought it was funny. They were talking about Masters meals, the Masters meals. Kirk said he would be fine with a chicken breast and macaroni and cheese. I think that's kind of crazy. Like, wouldn't you? I don't know. What would you do, Montante Master meal?
I eat like a child. Like I don't want any condiments. That meal sounds fantastic for me.
Yeah.
Like Alex's family knows like I'm probably pretty autistic, so like they'll have their extravagant things and like, all right, make mac and cheese and sliced ham for Mike, and I'll eat like 5 pounds of it and I'll be good like a little kid. So I totally get it.
There's something about Montante, Dave Cullinane's the same way. Kirk, like there's no spice going on. There's no like flavor going on at all. It's all very bland. It's interesting.
I prefer like when I go to Chipotle, I get white rice, I get chicken, and I get cheese. Wow. And they're like, "What else? You want beans?" Like sauce? Like, no, put the fucking top on. We're good. We're all set here.
BA, you're a Canadian. I'm assuming you don't like any spice with your food either, even though
I like spice.
Oh,
okay. He's a paisan.
I'm a paisan.
Okay.
I don't know what my Masters meal would be. I think like tomahawk steaks for the boys. Like some seafood, lobsters and steak probably.
$2 beers sounds pretty good. It was interesting. Whitney wanted to talk about many times how it was the $2 beers and the cigars. He loves that. That was up many times. That sounds like a good time to me. The food, I don't know. $2 beers and some cigars sounds like a good time at the Masters.
But
something about not having the phone, I think, makes those beers and cigars feel a little bit better.
You
know, because you got to really enjoy them with your friends. You can't fuck off and be entrapped in your phone for minutes at a time. So I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, PMT was pretty good, I guess. Yeah, it was a lot of all this stuff was golf. I'm not a huge golf guy, so it was like foreplay. On foreplay it was funny him talking about the barbershop. How he has like a Montante at the barbershop, right wing guy. Did you guys hear this story, or you didn't listen to foreplay?
I didn't listen to foreplay. I'm gonna be honest.
He said like one of the barbers is like this right wing guy, like this single guy. He's like, I'm on all the apps. Look at this. Look at that. But I thought that was good. But I guess we'll get into it. The golf. So were you guys into the golf?
Oh, totally, 100%. That entire meltdown, I was just rewinding, going back through it again. I was stunned that it happened, but I was watching all of the golf. It was unfortunate that you had to listen to, I don't know for you guys, but Jake Marsh, every time they started a new round, it was Jake and Nick talking a lot, which Nick is fine. He's funny.
Yeah, Nick's funny.
But Jake is talking over all the guys who are mic'd up out there. So I don't understand what the point of that is. Like, they've got mics all over the place. They've got on-camera guys who are talented and funny. Like, why does Jake have to talk over them?
Jake's so Nick's obviously doing it. He knows it's a joke. People are live streaming, grown men play miniature golf. Now they're competing. It's not a joke to them, but they would get that it's funny. Jake Mark is treating this like it's, the Sweet 16.
So serious.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird. I saw, I didn't see any of it live. I tried to tune in once, and for whatever reason, I couldn't find it on YouTube or Rumble. So I was just living through the clips, but I did see a compilation of Nick Tarani introducing people, which made me laugh.
Nick was funny, but the blow up was like, so the way I see it is, so Kirk's a big what's the guy's name, Freddie Couples fan, right? You're watching Freddie Couples second place, you're like, you want him to win, you're cheering for the guy, then you see him do something like that. Wouldn't you be disappointed? You're like, you invested whatever 4 hours in this, and then you see the meltdown, or is it like, it was the clip of the week, so it's like pros and cons. What do you think, Red?
Well, totally. And I don't know if I'm not a big gambler, so I don't know. I don't know if Montante, if you did this, but did anybody actually do you have the ability to gamble on Kirk or like his participation?
No way.
Because Ted Sellers was saying that he was like, he was in his. I know he's a troll, and I love Ted. He's a great dude, but like he's mad at Kirk for basically blowing the whole thing up because of the gambling part of it. I don't know if that was an issue. That would be the only part that people could probably complain about. I guess
maybe on an offshore book, but like no way DraftKings would sanction that.
Right. Okay.
Because if that was actually sanctioned and like Kirk did that, then I think it would be like maybe a thing. Like he might get like almost in trouble, right? Because almost he's throwing it. So I doubt. I think Ted's just
he's reaching.
Yeah, there was a pool. Freddie Lynn is saying a pool. I don't know, but so I was like, fuck. I was cheering for the comeback. Electra, how are you, Electra? Electra was in the pool. I was cheering for the comeback, and to do that, I was like, damn. But Kirk said it. He was like, maybe I overreacted a little bit on that because I think he could have came close. I think he would have been locked.
Yeah. How far back if he just doesn't completely implode like before that hole started? But was he in second, third? Where was he?
Well, I think they gave him like I think they gave him like 28 something, 28 strokes. So what did he finish? Minus 15. So 15 plus 28, like
right.
He would have been. I think, and then you would think like, oh, if he's more in the money there, he's going to be the last round. He's a little bit more into it. Yeah. But it was funny. He's like, I just blacked out, and he hit it. I saw that live. I was like,
he's like just dribbling it back and forth, just adding up the strokes.
I think he hinted towards it on the Unnamed show.
Yeah,
where he was like, yeah, he's just fucked in the head right now. Like he said a couple things at the live show. He said a couple things where he shows, I guess he's going through something. So something like that, like, he fucking like literally lives for those stupid golf tournaments. So like for him to like just can't get over a mistake that he made previously. Like if he was in a right mindset, he maybe could I'll joke about this later. Let's move on. But when you're kind of fucked in the head, you don't have that ability to kind of, rally past, you just fucking snap. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think he does that if he's in a bit of a better headspace. Because he even said he's like right now, he's like openly like Dave. He's like, yeah, I'm in a tough spot right now mentally. So who knows?
Right.
Yeah, he said that on the AIM show, and it was right after Portland. The people are saying Nipples is doing a victory lap, saying, "Oh, you see, I told you." The mental health leave after Portland. No, I'm just kidding. But
that probably gave Nipples such anxiety. He's watching that right
Nipples
now
is
with his
listening,
wife.
being like,
Freaking out
"Oh,
right now."
right."
So,
But
BA, I think you're a pretty social guy. I think you're probably in a
Yeah.
lot of chats.
Yeah,
I know Montante, you're probably in a lot of chats too.
I hate chats.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Well,
I feel like
I don't-
Montante's in like one or two. Like
he might,
probably
maybe
one.
a few.
The gambling chat's dead. Rest in peace, Daver.
Well,
Once
there's
Daver left,
there's a new and improved gambling chat
I've
with
heard,
the boys
I've
with
yeah.
my two friends Jeff D'Lo and Mutt. So
there you go. Well, that's probably a good one. I know I want to get in on the fantasy baseball chat too. I want to get in there. So there was, I don't want to name names. I don't do that. I got sources. I had some guys who were in the chat that I was in, and they were talking about like speculating on like Kirk and his mental health and where he's at right now before the blow up. So I don't know if you guys had that going on too, where guys were talking about that, got the sense of, I never got the sense that Kirk was like, having an issue or struggling until he mentioned it on the unnamed show. Like even the blow up there on the mini golf course. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've played many a mini golf like round where you just like, all of a sudden you have like a 10 stroke, the ball goes bouncing out of bounds and the ball's rolling back to you on the hill and then you hit it again. And then so I didn't get any of that, but there was some guys that were speculating on that. I don't know if you guys saw that too before that guys were thinking like, maybe Kirk's not in the best spot right now.
Yeah, I think the last like maybe 2 to 4 weeks, you could kind of tell he's not going through the motions, but he's probably struggling a little bit with something going on. So that doesn't surprise you. When he came out and said that, I don't think it was a shock if you're paying too much attention to it. So.
Right.
I was saying he's got the beard going, the
what is that squeaking BA? What do you got going on?
I think it's the chair. It's I need to grease it up. I don't know. I hate to like speculate, I guess, on the mental health thing. I guess he did say it, but you always hope. I think what's different in the past, like he's like, I think in the past he would have just not went to the Barstool thing. I think he's more invested in the company and everything, where in the past he probably would have just skipped this week. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, not only that, I think he's in a different spot now where he took his first, mental break, whatever. I can think then he was, kind of fuck Barstool. He was kind of still feeling it out and like uneasy with it. He like loves Barstool. And for the most part, the important people there like him. The crumbs there, the people, who are kind of on the outs, don't. So as long as you're in with the right people, he'll be fine. He loves so that he probably, I don't think he'd ever admit it, but he probably looked forward to going out there for this. I don't think it was, felt like a drag on him.
Well, every time he's in the mix, he's a value add. Like I don't know how much Barstool stuff you guys consume, but like other than Kirk, like I can't listen to the Yak. It's just not for me.
Anymore.
But if you throw Kirk in the Yak, I think it makes it that much better because he's always trying to like get the conversation going and at least not necessarily stir up some shit, but he's not afraid to talk about that stuff where they never ever touch that stuff. Like Brandon Walker would rather fart into a microphone than actually like talk about something interesting, where Kirk is going to make sure that's good.
The people who listen to the Yak hate when he's on because he completely changes the dynamic of the show.
Right.
But people like us will actually find the Yak more entertaining because it's not so, I don't want to say childish because it's not, but it's a much more lighthearted, silly show. So it's nice to see because all those guys are good. So when you add some like maybe some more serious stuff to it, I find it more entertaining. I think Yak's good for like clips, but I couldn't imagine. I know people like a lot of KMS people will listen to that, like watch it live for 3 hours. I can't do it.
No, I can't do it.
It was better in New York. I like with Little Assassin Road. Joel Kingsley said ape tits. I think he's talking about all three of us here.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, for once it's a tough one. You can't really.
I was trying to.
We can't defend it.
I was trying to say BA is scared.
Well, yeah, I think the only guys I know that actually like the yak are like Ziggy and Tim Ridgels. I think that's the only people who find it funny.
Oh,
I think
Ziggy likes that. I
yeah.
used to
He
listen
said
to
he talks. Ziggy often talks about how talented the guys on the yak are. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. There's not a lot of talent going on there. But
it's similar to KMS where it's like you can't like what
You can't jump
there's
into it?
inside jokes and it builds
Yeah.
off each other. You just kind of have to jump in. But another thing from the mini golf. Whoa, what did it right here? I don't know. Hannah Cook. So him, Kirk versus Cook. Called her a bitch allegedly, but then said he did it. What do you Hannah Cook look
You're losing your fastball, by the way. We don't get the catchphrase.
What
You don't even know what it is. Hey, how? Hi.
Hey, how are you? Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
No, hey, how are you? I was gonna say she looked miserable there. I was saying I was giving Casey Smith a hey, how are you? Cindy Wells, hey, how are you? Megan making money, hey, how are you? For real. But Hannah Cook looked miserable. I don't think many people like her there. I think Kirk's right. People are saying that no one really likes her.
More people at that company dislike Hannah Cook than dislike Kirk.
Oh, for sure.
On Surviving Barstool, not really Pat, but Joey was such a fucking dickhead to her. He was like, he hated her. So, and like gay, like, openly gay guys like that kind of like to gossip a little bit. He's very, rambunctious about it. So he was just saying stuff that's probably been uttered behind her back 1,000 times to her face. So yeah, I don't think she's well liked in that office whatsoever.
Yeah, she's always got like a sourpuss face. She's always, even like when she was the weather girl, like on Sports Advisors, like she was never really happy. For whatever reason, that's just her personality. She looks great. She looks great, but
she looks great.
She's got to be a tough hang. I totally agree that she's probably terrible with the behind the scenes people.
She was such a miserable bitch during the Thanksgiving episodes.
Yeah,
where like
awful.
Stu's fucking going nuts and throwing turkey around. Like, yeah, she like Stu was like too far. It's like, shut up. Do you know where you are right now? Like, look around, have some self-awareness.
Yeah, have a fucking laugh, man. Jesus, she takes herself way too seriously.
I don't even know how it started. I forget how it started. What do you guys remember? What did like she came over to?
She wasn't. I think she was playing behind them, and there was like I think they were just like a real small little thing, like who goes first or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm butchering this." And she came over like, "No, like, it is a big deal. Like play by the rules or something along those lines. Something very benign that she kind of inserted herself in." And like tried to be like a rules Nazi over, and that's where it kind of sparked from.
And then the last time that Kirk was through this mini golf thing, she was also in the mix there. So I think Kirk had to be in her group there too. So, and I think Kirk's very good about he has those sources around Barstools, so he hears a lot of this stuff, and he's very good friends with Riggs, and Riggs probably is forced to do some golfing content with her. Oh, so 100%. I'm betting he probably hears stuff from Riggs that he's basically kind of doing his thing.
He's the mouthpiece for Riggs. 100%.
Oh, totally,
yeah,
no doubt.
Because Riggs is very sensitive, like over the golf thing. Like even like when some males, try to come up, the Pink Whitney guys when they do it, he kind of gets a little sensitive and protective about it. So
absolutely.
And then she goes to the bar, like the hotel bar. They're all hanging out, and then she's like, "Oh, did you see Kirk's out of the running or something like that?" When Kirk's right there. It's funny to see. Like I would love to see those interactions because I don't think there was a clip of those interactions.
No. Maybe there's like Barstool, maybe there's like stool scenes or something of that stuff. I would love to see that shit.
I honestly thought she wasn't with the company anymore because I don't see
I don't think she is, by the way. Maybe they paid her just for this event. I don't think she works for Barstool anymore. I
think she does the golf, but like it's one of those things where it never anything she does doesn't show up on the algorithm,
No, and I thought the same thing for KFC, honestly. Like I never see him. He never participates in anything, and then he just gets brought into the unnamed show like randomly, and then that's how I remember like, oh yeah, KFC's at the company because I never see him do anything there.
Well, like, KFC, he'll complain if you invite him to one of those events, and then he'll complain if you don't. So it's just like, you can't with KFC.
From one talentless loser to another KFC. People are calling him KFC. Sorry. go ahead.
What's Canadian for segue? Because you are crushing it right now, BA.
Thank
I
you,
love it.
brother.
I love the
There
way
you
you're
go.
doing this. This is
I,
great.
thank you, man.
Not his first
KFC,
rodeo.
but people are calling him KFC Castellani because he
Nailed it.
is begging to get invited to these events. He's not. People are forgetting about him. It was funny where it was like you would think like there's all these like it's pretty much the who's who of Barstool. The who's who of Barstool, and KFC is like at home in a stupid robe, having to call into the unnamed show, being like, "Oh, I couldn't even get in here."
The last time they had something remotely similar was like the combine. He was like walking the 40, like
Right.
making total mockery of it. So then he turns around and yeah, you could say he was joking, but I think he was joking on the square. Like there was some truth behind it. Like he would have liked to be invited. He's strange. He's he got in at the right time with Barcelona. And he's like Barcelona royalty, and he's not going anywhere unless he wanted to leave. But yeah, I don't know. He really hasn't taken off to the next level. And in a weird way, I feel like he's almost holding fights back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because if you hear fights on first the mini golf stuff, and then also he was even on Brandon Walker's Mostly Sports show, and he was great on there. Like I actually listened to that. I caught a couple of clips of that. Like fights is actually good there. I think KFC is awful. Like he's like always on the unnamed show for no reason at all. He's there for like 5 minutes longer than
he has bad
ever
hits
should
when
be.
he goes on there. Yeah, he pops on, just brings
And
it
he,
up.
and he goes on and he's like, instead of being like, "Oh, I should have been invited. This is bullshit." Like you
Right.
have
Just tongue in cheek. Yeah.
you have. He goes on and is like, "Oh, I didn't really care." It's like he's he's a fraud and he's a pussy. And I think so. He's definitely a pussy, but
You goddamn right.
he's definitely a fraud.
I think the only one who really brings it when they bring him in these spots. Clemmer brought it that one day. That was
He did.
Clemmer. He put his little nuts on the table. Also, Nate's not terrible in those spots, but like I like Dante for obvious reasons, but he's fucking horrific when he goes on there. And then KFC's been an absolute dud every time they bring him up.
So is Dante Montate? You would know this.
Yeah.
I think if his tweets ever veered into whatever they're accusing Dante of doing, like, so is he like far right wing now? Like
No, not
conspiratorial?
really. He's one of those guys, kind of similar to Kirk, where he really will never, give allegiance to one side. But he's like him and my buddy E could chat about a lot. He's like in the dark shadows reading about everything going on. Like they weren't joking, but he has a to-go bag with like $5,000 cash and like weapons and like food that'll make you last a while. So yeah, he's deep in that, and he has gotten crazier since he got jumped. So maybe they were joking about that, but the timing does line up. I don't know. I like Dante.
We're saying Dante is definitely gay.
I thought it was
no homo. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, well, listen, Studio 54. You ever heard of it? I mean, come on, like he's big time into that. So who knows?
Is no homo okay to say now?
I think so.
All right.
No, I'm offended.
No.
That's all I know.
Well, you're a liberal. So explains a lot.
This is the lib. We have the biggest lib. We have the biggest lib and a big.
Cass wasn't available, so we settled on a second base.
Oh Jesus Christ! Holy shit!
How do you and Sheldon? Where is Sheldon, by the way?
I thought he was going to be here by now. I mean, I know he is very blue collar, so I assumed we'd get him maybe late because he is working hard. But he said he was going to be late. But maybe he's on John from Scranton time. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Because it would be nice to see these gay for BA. Thank you, John and Warren. Finally something nice in the chat for me to read. But the next thing, I guess we're going to the bottom of the list quick. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. The Twitter.
Don't burn through all your bullets here, BA. Don't rush through it, man.
I don't know what else to do. Though.
Maybe,
okay, everyone here is Blind Mike sneakers.
Well, no, I mean, so we could just have a conversation. So, for instance, like, did you see the Gus? Did you see the Gus show? Today?
Well, that's on my list.
Okay,
good.
That's
the only one I haven't seen. I actually thought the first two were all right. I like Steve from Gloucester a lot. I can't help it.
I couldn't make it through the 12 minutes though. I could only make it through like 8. Like it was funny, but it was very serious. Like him talking about his business plan, but it was it was funny where he's doing this all like $10 a pop, So
listen, it's all about ROI, return on return on investment, right?
He's doubling.
I would love Steve from Gloucester though. I would love seeing it because he says he buys stuff in bulk and then and then I guess he waits till the return date, and if he doesn't sell, he returns it. Like, I love Steve from Gloucester.
I missed that. That's
I would love seeing Steve from Gloucester like wheeling and dealing the customer service line, like with
bringing
the
in
ladies there,
bringing in tampons,
bringing in like 100 tampon boxes.
No, I didn't need these.
Oh, they didn't sell. Oh, it's store him asking for the manager when they say it's only store credit. And he's like, can I speak to the manager?
Steve from Gloucester. Love to see it.
I didn't watch the Cinema Lords one. Cinema Lords is kind of a tune out for me. I ever since the
you didn't like his story about his buddy in jail?
No, what was it? Do you say it?
I do love that.
Can I say it? Oh God, I don't want to tarnish such a good story. Something along the lines of, and I'll do it quick. He was in jail with his buddy because they, the rowdy boys from Fork River, and they were just making inside jokes to each other the whole time. And then when they got to leave, he looked behind his buddy's cell, and there was a guy behind him the whole time who was hearing their inside talks. And he's like, "Oh, you didn't tell me there's someone behind you." That was it. It went on about 10 minutes longer than I just did, though. So go back and listen. I think it's a must listen.
Is it worth the listen?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the Cinema Lord, John Warren says Cinema versus Steve from Gloucester rivalry. Maybe we'll get them. Maybe I should have got them on. They could have hashed it out.
You know what I don't like though, because Steve will be like, "Oh, I'm not a fighter. You can like." He literally said like, "You could punch me in the face and let it happen." It's like, Steve, laugh a little bit. You could spar a little bit. Verbally, Steve. If you give him any animosity, he just fucking quits.
Cinema Lords was right though, in the sense that at Mike and the Minifans, like as soon as Steve from Gloucester went in, he went right to the producers table. He was hanging out there like he's part of the show. I was saying this, I forget what other show I was on, but I was saying this, the funniest moment of the weekend was after the show in the Weston bar, seeing Kirk come in with Casey Smith and Jeff D. Lowe, and then they needed a seat to sit at, and Steve from Gloucester Steve from Gloucester gets him a seat, and it's Casey Smith, Jeff D. Lowe, Kirk, and then Steve from Gloucester sits in right beside him, like he's part of the. Part of the crew.
I love that.
Yeah, and then I see Steve get up like a minute later, being like, I'm sure Kirk was like, "All right, man, get the fuck out of here," Like,
but what's okay? So Montante, I don't know if you were at the Weston Hotel bar. Okay, so I was there. I saw BA. We were hanging out on the other side. Like,
this was the rooftop, though. This was after
the rooftop was different. The sense I got from Steve, both from watching Mike and the Minifans and then seeing him in his element, I feel like he's like many Minifans that we've seen, like socially awkward and like not comfortable going up to people or being around people that he doesn't know. So I always took that as he's going up to dudes that he knows. And those dudes just happen to be Coleman or Gus or whoever, people that are on the show. So I don't take that as big timing dudes. Like I take that as like somebody who's like maybe uncomfortable around people he doesn't know.
There's a bit of that, but there's also a bit of he doesn't have the most self-awareness at times. And I think that kind of would shine through there. Yeah. Like when he's not on the show for a week and he kind of like reaches out to, DMs them, "Hey, I'm available this week." It's like, yeah, if they want you, they'll reach out, and it comes from a pure place though. So it's not like malicious or anything, but sometimes he kind of loses. And then once you kind of like say, "Hey, like relax," like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I should have realized," he doesn't have the best feel at times.
I feel like Montante, you're kind of like a Steve from Gloucester, like whisperer. I think you got this guy down, man. Like,
I love Steve.
You got the impression down and everything.
I thought he was less socially like awkward than I thought he was going to be. But then that could have been like me and Montante were kind of like his boys, so I think he was cool. Like he was cool talking to us, but the
autograph is so funny.
It was a great moment, but during the Mike and the Minifans, because Steve thought he would be up right away, right? And he comes up to me, he's like, "Fucking Gus is in my spot," and you see Gus sitting there, and that was funny. Where you like what I don't know who said it, but Steve has that where he's like, if he thought he should be there right away, like he's Steve from Gloucester, and then seeing him walking out of the back
outside of the
State Theater was just too funny.
And he was like wandering. He had no idea where he was. He was just floating around. He's great. It was funny seeing him, and it is kind of true. He dropped Shattuck over no resistance. They're like, "Hey, you should probably distance yourself from Shattuck," and he's literally called in. He's like, "Hey, I'm done with you guys. Like nothing personal." And it's like, damn, like he was literally, no exaggeration, he was calling into the burn barrel and leaving at least one message per show. So 10 a week. That's 5 a week, probably 6.5, 7 a week because he used to double dip. And then once Kirk mentioned leave him alone, he left him and just dropped him. So when Tom was there, I was like, yo, you gonna fucking talk to this guy? And of course, Tom was more nervous than anybody. Right. But Steve was like, "Oh, come on, I can't. I had to choose. Like you can't be mad at Steve. He's the best."
They gave each other a big hug when they met, Tom and Steve. So
I love like the different levels of it. So like he's like in the minor leagues on Tom's show, calling in. Eventually makes it up to Kirk's show. I don't know what the next step is. I just hope Steve gets there, and I don't know what like the next step down is. Maybe it's very good show. I don't know what it is. Oh. But wherever Steve can get, man, I'm a big fan. I love the Pope. He's my guy.
I thought it was funny you calling him the Pope, or I don't know, was it you or Ziggy that coined the term
Ziggy? I'll give Ziggy credit. He coined that phrase. So I think he's of the Miniverse. He is the Pope. I think.
I agree. It was funny though. I told you guys a story when there was the two ladies. They're looking into the bar. They're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "You see that guy right there?" They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's Steve from Gloucester. Everyone's here to see him." They're like, "Oh, really? What's he do?" And I was like, "He's an online comedian / critic."
That's great.
I was trying to get them to go in because I was like, "Go in and say hi," and then
that was the whole reason why I went over to get the selfie with Steve. Was I was hoping maybe Casey would notice.
Yeah, that flopped. Like, I heard that didn't go as planned.
Like didn't go as planned. I thought maybe Casey would notice and think like, man, this Steve is big time. I'm just a wingman. I'm trying to get Steve laid. That's it. I was hoping that would work. I guess it didn't. Who knows? He doesn't kiss and tell.
Yeah, who knows?
So.
Steve though was funny, right in the mix. It was funny seeing you guys, and I thought when I told Ziggy like, "Oh, Kirk asked me to wear all black for the show," I thought you guys knew I was fucking around. There was no way.
I remember I heard that, and I was like, Ziggy for someone he's a little rat, he's a little mole. He'll I just assume anything that I text or I put in the group chat is probably gonna end up back to Kirk if it's semi interesting to him whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But so you think that he's like on the inside and he gets it, and then once in a while you hear a show like that. That wasn't a bit he was doing. He really thought, BA, like he was being genuine.
I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even. First of all, I say so much bullshit that I was like, I didn't even remember saying that until I heard it on the run.
It's such a nothing burger, but in his mind, he's festering and thinking about it all night. He's like, oh, this is an interesting beat.
Well, what helps Ziggy is he's also very sober. So he's hearing that and he's analyzing it too. But I heard it and I thought it too. BA, you played it well because we were just coming from that bar where we're like, we knew that Pat Ford and we knew that John from Warren was in the mix. So we just assumed that you guys were in the mix too. Like I assumed we'd see those two come out on the stage and then Montante and BA.
Kirk came up and talked to us at 9:30 where we were drinking vodka at the bar. We're not a part of the mix.
He hung out with us for half an hour. We were drinking Bloody Marys at 9:30. And if we were gonna be part of the mix, that's when he was like, no chance for these guys. That would be like I'm there as like a vacation. It's a vacation. That's how I see it. So it's like I would prefer not going on and dancing for like 30 minutes and then for like 5 minutes and have to say like stone cold sober,
Agreed. And for Pat Ford, if you take that out of it, you can be blackout drunk and on as much blow as as BA used to do a couple years ago. You need to have massive balls to do what both the Drip Lords did, and even more for what fucking Steve did. That is, there'd have to be a large amount of money or gun in my head. That is like super nerve-wracking.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Imagine me and Montante's titties bouncing on the stage. So that would have got a good pop, probably.
You guys would have brought the house down. The four of you up there.
They would have walked out after 2 minutes, but
that would have been. It was another thing. It was funny when I was telling you guys, I was like, the whole like everyone's over there. There's a lineup to meet them. Look, and Mick was legit standing there like behind everyone for like 10 minutes. It had to be at least 10 minutes, like waiting to go like introduce himself. And then it was funny. Then Ziggy's like, okay, I'm gonna go line up, and then Ziggy goes and lines up behind Mick as well, like waiting to meet Steve and Mud and everyone. So.
Well, that's the best part is Ziggy is standing in line to meet Steve. He doesn't care about Jeff D'Lo. He certainly doesn't care about Casey. Yeah. That's the only thing that he cares about. So that is funny. I did feel bad for Mick. It did feel like as we were looking, I'm standing next to BA. We're staring across the bar, and there's Mick and his cousin, and they're kind of like standing there like almost like not involved. But
Him
then
and his cousin do. It's like his cousin's like a blind seeing eye dog. Like they are everywhere together, and they don't
They
need
don't
anybody
like.
else.
They stay together and they don't
Right.
really mingle a whole lot.
Yeah, they do their own thing.
they don't separate themselves. Like I thought they'd at least come up to the bar and be like, all right, then you got like, because
No,
you're
right
thinking about,
beside
Miniverse celebrities are standing there and they're doing their thing.
They
And
do-
there's
they
Dave
do-
Cullinane and they're just standing on the back. Like, get in the mix, boys. You're
Actually, the one
celebrities.
time I saw Mick
Come on.
mingling, it was with Portly Clyde and Trent South, and I was
Jesus.
like, "Holy fuck!"
Oh,
I was talking to my guy Jarvis. He's like an older guy, and he was.
was
like,
he there?
Yeah, remember I introduced you because this guy will DM me, my good buddy Jarvis. He'll DM
Jeff
me being-
Jarvis.
Jeff Jarvis. He'll DM me being like, "Terrible show."
Yeah,
the
he's
Mike Niven
he's
sucks."
the worst. He's the worst. Yeah.
I
all
love
these
I
guys-
love that we're in the mix of this. And BA, you said my buddy Jarvis, and Montante said, "Oh, was he there?" I don't know.
I
who
have
the fuck
I have a friend named Jeff Jarvis, same name, so that always stuck
This
out
is
to me.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so me and Jeff Jarvis were chopping it up, and I forget what I was saying,
That's
but-
great. I love
But
that.
actually, David from Maryland in the chat. I was gonna say this: the Twitter show account sucks. Everyone's saying it. I really think they should just give it to David in Maryland because
Yeah.
David in Maryland has like the creativity online. Like he clips everything right. It's always funny too, and he has like he knows the show, good sense of humor. He's not trying to like do gotcha moments or do
Yeah.
the like the Mike Thierry kind of bullshit, like the Mike
Yeah.
Thierry
Yeah.
like race bait kind of stuff. But I was saying,
That
I
was
was
wild.
I was saying, I think they really should just have David or Maryland be like on that account.
I would say, can I echo this? And I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea, BA. But I would say that the three guys that need to be on there is David from Maryland, because there's nobody who's online more. than
Donnie
David
Boy.
from Maryland.
With really relevant stuff.
Really relevant stuff. Don the Jeweler,
Who
obviously.
will your third be?
Don's great. And then I don't tell Ziggy, but I would put Ziggy in the mix there too. So three.
2 out of 3 is
Those
not bad.
three.
2 out of 3 is not bad.
I
would
Who's
have.
your
I would
third,
have-
Montani? Who's your third?
I would have those two. I would have those two.
I feel
and
like you
then
gotta get three. You gotta get.
I
three
would
in.
subscribe whatever to Twitter Blue or whatever the fuck that is, and it won't be much. It won't be much, but it won't be coming out of Kirk's pocket or anybody's pocket. Have them if they make fucking $200 off of impressions, whatever the end of the month. Have them split it 50-50. Have those two run that sucker. Take the pressure
I
off.
don't like David from Maryland does it already for free, like on his own account.
Well,
and
yeah,
he
but I'm
gets,
saying,
he
but
gets
he-
numbers. Like if he did it
he
on
gets
this,
huge.
he-
He would get huge numbers.
he would-
He's and not only is he good, but like some people are good at Twitter, but like they'll have the clip like 3 hours later. He has it up almost sometimes. Like when I'm gambling on stuff, like my app will be updating quicker than when I'm watching. He's almost like that, like with a show. He'll be like tweeting out stuff
Yeah.
before I listen to him. Like, I'm watching
But
live.
he-
Like,
Yeah.
he's
but with these
unbelievable.
clippers, the clipper guys, like you could just be a guy clipping stuff, but he does it in a way like he has like there's art. It's artistic, you know. I don't know how to.
All right, we get it, BA. All right,
Yeah.
you're David. from
David Maryland, good guy. He was a good
All
guy.
right,
I met. He was a good guy. A good guy.
Don the Jeweler's still my number one. I'll give David number two, but Don's number one for me.
Warden would be good too, but Warden is more like it's tough because he's doing
It'd be like Lord of the
Long
Rings gifts and everything else. Yeah.
I guess we got to get into this because I watched the third chair, the Gus's one, and I don't know how many lies he said, but for sure he's this
Probably
one.
probably everything he said. You just have
But
to
he
operate
said
as
that
something.
he is sponsored by a
No.
disc golf company, and they're like, "When did you get sponsored?" And it was like, "Whoa!" But because he gets 25% off disc golf supplies, or he says he's sponsored by a disc golf company, and then it's like, how are you sponsored? It's like, oh, I use it when I disc golf.
Yeah.
So
That'd be-
pretty much this guy got a deal. Like the store had a 25% off sale that one day and was like, yeah, you'll get 25% off, just use the stuff. And now Gus says he's sponsored by like Gus is fucking nuts. He's a
That'd be
crazy-
like me, like the bar went to Val's. Like my buddy's a bartender there. Like, yeah, he gives us free beers. I'm sponsored by Val's. Like, no, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
That's not how any of that works. It's weird. I don't know. He's kind
I'm
of like,
sponsored by Walmart because they did rollback pricing. the other day.
yeah. It's. Is he doing it now? I don't think he's doing it. Is he doing
No,
it
it's
to,
not
like overcompensate for like what he thinks is like he's not really doing anything. So he's like, is he trying to like overcompensate? I don't get.
He just
I don't
lies,
get
just like to
But for
make-
what purpose? To what
just to
end?
make himself. This is where I wanted to do a 60 minutes with Snell. I want Snell to go deep dive into Gus's psyche.
Bring in
because-
Snell and bring in Sigmund Freudinson, the child therapist.
If we could,
I love-
we could come back to the Snell thing because I got.
Don't
I
text
think,
me over that, Siggy, please.
I think you guys were in the hotel room with Snell. I want to come back to that. If
Yeah,
I can.
Okay.
we
Okay,
were.
we got to ask. I got to ask
We
about that.
certainly were.
I'm worried, and I think Montante. I know you've been in the studio with Gus. BA. I don't know if you have.
I have.
am okay. So I'm.
That was the one time I was in there. It was
All
Gus
right.
and Montan.
I am seriously worried about Gus after watching that video. His ability to speak and actually like put sentences together. You can see his brain working. You can tell like listen, if you want to get high all day, that's totally fine. But his brain is not functioning at a high level. And
Shout out Jay.
it is like getting progressively worse as we're seeing him week to week. Whatever he's doing, I don't know who his doctor is who's telling him he should be doing this much weed. He should not be doing this much weed because I don't know if it's a stroke or what, but he sounds awful. And then number two is his dogs, his training for his dogs when he
out of
tells them
control.
down, they were clawing at Justin and Coleman. It was
Dogs are not
insane.
trained.
They're not trained. He's
By the way,
just telling them
there's literally nothing worse than that. Like
Oh,
not
yeah,
a
but
single
worse.
thing in the world because you have to pretend like, oh no, it's okay. It's not okay.
They have 3 dogs.
It's
Like,
never okay when that's happening. Like get these. Yeah, I don't know. He not to get like serious about it, but he has too many yes men or people that like don't really care about him in his life. Someone's to be like, hey, like we love you. Like become a productive human being. This is not it.
I don't know how he lives. I was talking to someone about this. Like, I don't know how he lives his life. I don't know how he lives his life.
I know
The
how he
other
lives
thing
his
is-
life, BA. I know how he
No,
lives
but like, I don't know how he finances his life. I guess, or
his
maybe
wife. His wife
yeah, I
finances
guess,
his life, and the
uh,
Massachusetts taxpayers or Rhode Island or wherever they're funding it. His wife is going to leave him if he doesn't figure this out. He's leaving his wife hanging around with
Not
mud.
only
we got John in the car. John, do we really need?
Oh,
your-
hey, John.
Probably
No, I
not.
wanted to.
There's my.
I just
CEO.
wanted to tell you that I'm stranded outside my house. I won't add anything to this show. I think it will make Montante
boot him.
happier if I'm.
Yeah, boot him. Boot him.
Okay, John.
We love
Good
you.
luck.
That's my
Love you.
CEO.
Thanks,
Love you.
guys.
Yeah, so I'm totally
was
worried
good.
about Gus in the whole way, and he's taken over whatever they try to paint Montante with this whole like Proud Boy, whatever, making whatever the shtick is from the show. Gus makes some of the most racist jokes that's ever been heard too.
Yeah.
It's alarming. I'm concerned about our boy.
That's some of my least of my problems with Gus.
Well,
Surprisingly, I'm
what
okay with that part. But
Yeah,
I was
say
surprised
it.
that you guys touched on it earlier.
Well,
He
Go ahead.
was he was very. I would get killed if I did with Alex. She's obviously uncomfortable there because she doesn't know anyone. He was just leaving her there
Oh,
like
right.
unattended. It's like, dude, you have to like introduce her to people, and like
You
she'll
have
eventually
to.
like
You have
she'll
to.
become like buddy with someone. Then you can drift off and fuck off for a little bit. He was
Right.
like, she's fine. Like
He's got to treat her like Christian treats Mick and be by her side the whole time.
yeah, exactly.
But actually,
Fucking
Christian and
crazy.
Mick, they're good guys. But Mick did look like he wasn't feeling too well. No jokes aside, because I would have liked to booze it up with him a bit, but I don't know how we didn't really get that opportunity.
I don't think he's a big boozer. Like he was saying, like,
He's
he's
a high guy. He's just
he's
getting high.
He's driving down to Delaware. If we got pulled over, I mean, lock us all up. We're going, it's like legal now, but we're going right to prison. But no,
Well,
the funny thing about Mick, he was saying on his show, he was like, yeah, we were feeling good going there. We had like 4 or 5 drinks. All right, so you can tell he's not like a huge boozer, and he's also like 120 pounds soaking wet.
That's
So
true.
Well, listen,
Yeah,
he's Mick is single, ready to mingle. So this is
like
going to be the summer of Mick. That's all I know. He's going to be slaying ladies down on the Cape. So
How
I'm
jealous
excited
was
for Mick.
how jealous was Mick when, or not jealous, but how pissed off was Mick when he was in the breakfast bar wherever we were before at 9:30 in the morning, and then Kirk hung out with us, and then Mick came back a bit later and he missed the whole interaction.
yeah.
Uh,
He's probably upset with that, but no, that was funny. That's what I remember because we had no intentions of going there. Some guy literally kidnapped us.
Some guy in the lobby was like, yeah, or we thought he was with the.
He was with a woman with a young child.
Yeah, and then he starts walking
In the
out with us.
elevator,
He's
elevator.
like, "Hey, Montante, you want to go rip some Bloody Marys? It's 9:30.
not
We're
really,
like,
but,
we're
like,
all right, yeah.
Can't say
Then
no,
we're
you-
there for like we're there.
Melissa Gorman's there with her family eating breakfast. Mick and Christian are eating eggs, and we're just there drinking vodka. It's like, oh, this is a horrific look. And
Well,
then
I drink
there's
Bloody Marys.
Frozen.
Montante got a vodka was getting vodka waters and
at 9:30, I don't do bloody. So I was like, I got no other move. I got no other move here.
Listen, you start the morning off right. I like that. So to go back to Snell. So you
Wait,
guys
can I
are
say one thing before about Gus?
Please. And then
So the
let's get
one
to
thing
Snell.
you were saying, Gus can't speak. The only time he's coherent is when he's lying. So that's how
Yeah.
I notice when he's lying. Whenever it's like a clear, concise point, it's a lie. I think I figured him out. So because he was like about the disc golf things. He's like, yeah, I'm sponsored 25% off.
I had no
for
idea
you.
the gaming with Gus. I had no idea he was still mowing lawns. That's like 4 weeks. That's like a 4-week epic he's been doing, or 5 weeks of gaming with Gus. He's mowing lawns like enough. Justin was right. Like, you might want to mix in another game here.
Oh, well, I'll say this. The gaming with Gus, I was looking at the Rumble. It had 22,000 views, like way more than anything else.
Really?
I guess, I don't know if it was the time or whatever, but then you look at the chat, there were people super chatting on the Rumble, like $10 or whatever, saying like stuff like, and then Gus wasn't reading it because you can't see the Rumble on here.
Where does the money go? Where's that money go to?
I don't know, probably Barstool or whatever, but I don't know if it was the time that it was on or whatever, but you looked at, because you could click Barstool on Rumble, you go through
it'll
everything out of like
It'll pop up
1,000,
live.
5,000, 7,000. They gave me with Gus 22,500. So
That's wild.
you might have something there with the game.
Well, maybe he should stick to mowing lawns. I don't know. I thought Jackson from Australia is right. Like, he should be doing the racing game, or he should be doing a first-person shooter, something. He should be
delivering mail.
Oh, yes, yeah, he should be
Gus-
delivering mail.
Gus
100%.
elbowing his dog to get her to stop barking was peak into the madness inside that household. He looks like he lives on a nice property though.
Yeah, I think that town, like Bridgewater, is like
Right
beautiful.
on the water.
So it's like
His wife is definitely paying the mortgage, and she's changing the flat tires too. he is. Wow. Yeah. Well, whatever he's done to figure that out, good for him. I guess.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Red, what were you gonna say? Yeah, but I guess Sheldon's just not coming.
I guess Sheldon's not coming. That's okay. I'm gonna hold down the fort for the rundown. So you're hanging out in a hotel room with Snell. What's the first impression? Are you guys actually nervous? Because I see those eyes. I see those rap videos. I love the rap videos. I'm a Snell guy, but I would be a little nervous to be around him in social situations, especially when he's trying to steal Blind Mike's cane. Like, I don't know. What
The cane thing was
give me the
like
cane thing.
it went on way too long. Like he kept. I think at one point
asking for it.
I was like, move. Yeah. Like I was like, Snell, you gotta move past this, because like I think he thought he was being funny at first.
Yeah.
And then Blind Mike said, it's like, oh, let me see your glasses or something. Like the guy, like Blind Mike's not here to. I don't know what he. It would have been.
I don't know what his end game was.
Yeah, like I don't know if he was gonna walk around with it or whatever. Like it's not like a toy either. I think Mike said that too. But he was like, it would have been like if it was a one-off. Oh, Mike, let me see your cane. Oh, ha ha. But it was like this is what I was saying. Like
kept going.
He was ignoring the blatant hits to maybe drop that, and he kept piling on. Once that happened though, like the last maybe hour and a half he was there, he was just flying the ball, taking notes. I would look over to him, he'd be smiling ear to ear and just taking mental notes. I don't know for what purpose, but he was just, after that, he was just soaking everything in.
But I was saying this to Mike. So then, so Snell was grilling Mike about stuff, but then Snell would turn his target to someone else. And then when you're watching it, like watching Snell grill like Coleman, like ask him like 15 questions, I was like, oh, this is actually, I don't mind being on the other side of this, like. That's why I said 60 minutes with Snell. I want him to do a deep dive into Augustus to start and see if it could go somewhere. So
I hope he goes back in the studio. I hope Kirk invites him back in, because he's a wild dude.
I think he would be good in studio, but he would be if like Kirk was having a bad day and caught Snell would he might kill himself, because Kirk needs to be on a good day with Snell.
What do you think? So I think that's obviously like a little long, not a little 2-week hiatus is pretty big. So What do you think the show's gonna be guest wise going forward? Do you think it'll be the same format it's been in the last 3 to 4 months? You think they're maybe scale it back?
I'm hoping that they continue the same rotation of Minifans. Speaking of which, Montante, are you getting back into the mix? They've been hinting at you getting sales and everything, and like maybe a bigger role in the show too.
No, I was in New England this week, so like I'm probably gonna go once every 3 weeks. So it would be a while since I'm in there. And yeah, we have things ready to go for the sales part. Just Barstool needs to produce the literal contract. So
Oh, good
we'll
luck
see.
on that. I'm sure that probably takes
Yeah,
forever,
yeah.
right?
So
Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So better luck with
You
Gus
would
having
think
tires.
though.
Yeah.
You would think though, like if someone's ready to spend whatever 10 grand, 5
You'd
grand,
think.
50 grand on a show for a couple months, you would think they would have the contract like ready right away. Like like
One would think, but
it's
You'd
more
think
than
so.
nothing, you know. It's
But
more
you know
than like
what's interesting? Like I know, BA, you've been a Barstool guy for a long time. The Barstool difference, they make fun of that, like the All Business Pete stuff, like stuff naturally just messing up or they're not getting stuff right. So like with the mini golf stuff, they're not replacing the holes. They just ran it as they ran it, and then they kept constantly talking about how they were going to improve it. I wonder how much of like on the business side of it, it's even worse. Where like that
I
sales
could tell you.
yeah, the sales department is just absolutely useless. So somebody like Montante's coming in, actually selling and trying to make money, and they're just like totally oblivious to these things.
yeah, I was pretty much like, we got a guy ready. We got a guy, 2 guys really ready to go. It's like, do you want me to drum up a contract? It won't look fantastic, but it'll be something. Or it is like, send me the Barstool template and just here's the information you need. And haven't gotten it. So, but it's the guy's there. He's not going anywhere. He was at the live show too, talking about it. So whenever we get that, this guy's ready to go.
Well, I'll give you a peek into the Barstool, like how it runs as a business. Like my Black Friday sweater, it never came. So then I was like, so it never came, and then I said, hey, they're like, so then the customer service was great. I was like, okay, we'll send you another one. Then that one didn't really. A few weeks went by, it didn't come, and I said, hey, it didn't come. They said, oh, okay, we'll send you another one. Then both of them came. So like I don't know. Maybe it was the shipping to Canada, like because I can't. There's like a Canadian Barstool site, but you can only get like spinning chicklets stuff on it. You can't get KMS stuff. So I was on the American site, so maybe that was the issue. But you would think, there's a bunch of fans like in Canada. I guess Canada's very small that they don't really care about it too much. But
I don't know, man.
But the sales thing is weird. The sales thing is weird, but
I think we're going to see not as many guests going forward. I think you're going to have more of a steady rotation.
Do you think there will be shows?
Which I like too.
Do you think there will be shows next week, or will be a week off? That's kind of.
Oh yeah, this is where you get into that part of it, right? And I remember back in the day. I was on like DEC's podcast and we were talking about this stuff. And you start to get into like, I don't know about you guys. It's different because Montante, you're on the show. So it's probably a little different. But like I look at it like KMS is like the sporting event, or Kirk is like, that's the pro athlete or whatever that you want to talk about and speculate on and recklessly speculate. So I remember talking to DEC about this and talking about like, so what's this look like? What's going to happen next week? And it's not really like, sometimes they get a little upset about that. Kirk gets a little upset, but I think like for this show, I hope it's a tighter rotation. I like the guys that are coming in. I would just like to see them more often. So like, I would like to have, and we were talking about this on the rundown, like Blind Mike at the end of the week. Always got to have Blind Mike in. You always got to have Mud in, but you got to have Minifans in earlier in the week, and kind of like when there's stuff to talk about. Like, so if you have Montante in on a Wednesday, I think it's great to have Mike and then Mutt to be able to react to that on a Thursday or Friday, stuff like that. Like that's what they got to do. I hope they do more of that and keep a tighter rotation, and every once in a while sprinkle in one of these crazies like Snell or whatever else too.
Yeah, for sure.
On the phone there, BA, you got
John calling me. I think he's pocket dialing. Best CEO in the business.
That's my CEO. That's my guy.
Yeah, I think they're gonna keep it pretty tight to the vest. And when you have like a random guest, then it's kind of be like more of a try to crack into that rotation. I don't think it's gonna be like where you're gonna have 4 weeks of shows where each week you have someone brand new. I think those days are kind of falling to the wayside. And I saw a lot of people are killing. Like, oh, Coleman's lazy. Like, they're lazy. Like, they're not reaching out to people like Cullinane did. Like, I don't know if that's better or worse for the show. I think it's kind of good to, kind of have more familiar faces on it. So I wouldn't really kill them on that.
Totally.
What about like calls
Sorry.
one day? No.
I don't know if the calls are good. Like Kirk was saying, he's complaining about the calls. If you're going to do calls, I think you got to do them consistently at some time that people can plan around it, so you can get the Trump callers and everybody else. Because the only guy who's going to be able to plan around that would be the Dan Katz caller, who, by the way, I met. I don't know if you guys get to meet the Dan.
Yeah,
Katz.
he does. He
I
does
think-
he does the whole act.
I don't know.
So
It
yeah. He is ready to go. Like David from Maryland is ready to go online, and the Dan Katz caller is ready to go for sure. I know he's a Pat Ford guy. So.
What do you guys think about the producer show so far? Do we need more of those or?
The producer show, like them talking.
Yeah, and if the answer is yes, why?
I don't think it's good at all. I think it was better when Gus. I think if Gus was there, you needed to do it because it was like, I don't know.
Why are they both so nervous talking?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like, and
Justin's the most nervous.
like,
guy
why
in the
can't they
world.
just like talk? Like, they don't have to speculate on the show. Like, Justin gets very nervous about that. We had him on the rundown.
They act like there's like a spotlight underneath.
Yeah,
them.
they get very
Like
nervous.
interrogation.
Yeah, just talk. Like, just be human beings. Like they at some point they've
Well,
developed some kind of relationship together. Just
I
be.
think.
Yeah,
I
Be
think
normal,
if when I first said the pitch the producer show, I was like the intern Josh should be the host. Like the producers shouldn't be the host of it. Someone else should be the host to like throw them questions. I think
Not
because
terrible.
I think like or you do the producer
That's
show
terrible,
when there's that random fan and it's like okay hey you're gonna it's like a rotating host of the producer show because I think when
That's
they
a pretty good
host it
idea.
it's not. I think if you get someone random, like they could read the chat, they could do that, and then you could drill down. I don't know that's how I liked it at first. What about this, Red? I was saying this to Montante. Do you think, looking back, the meta producer duo would have been Gus Montante?
I think I would have preferred. Gus made me uncomfortable just because I ended up feeling bad for him. So. Like I don't think Gus would be good in that mix. Like I don't know about you guys. If you guys go back and re-listen to shows, I'm a psycho, so I'll go back and re-listen to shows all the time. I can't re-listen to the Gus shows because that's where like you could tell when Kirk was just absolutely at his limit with Gus. Like there's nothing I can do with this guy, so he can't get anything from him. So like Gus in the mix, I wouldn't really love. I would have loved a Dave Cullinane Montante show. That's what I would have loved. Like that would have been the peak for me. Yeah.
Because I was saying with Montante's there, he could do more of the talking. Gus could have done more of the technical stuff,
right?
And then you still get the wacky Gus, like everything about him outside. But yeah, Gus talking on the show.
I had no idea that Gus was like the mastermind behind the tech side.
Right.
That was
scary.
Shocking.
You kind of tell that he's like good at that stuff. Like his brain works for like that kind of stuff, you know.
And it would be great. I think the only criticism I would have of Coleman and Justin would be we want new people in the mix. They got to get new people like interns in the mix. You get interns
that's
working for the show.
That's the funniest thing. Everyone in the producer search, one of the part of your pitch was, I'll build
the biggest part.
No one's come remotely close to doing it.
Right. That was
not
even close. And they all started to echo that same thing. Like they all came through. They said they were going to get interns for the show. That was like the first thing that they mentioned, and they haven't done it. And if Coleman and Justin did that, I think it would actually add to the show where that's where you get those things in. So you get a couple of those rotation of the Montantes, maybe even Mayo if Mayo didn't get his nuts clipped by Ziggler. But you get some of these other Minifans in there and you get them going and then you have those interns. That's where you need is those interns in there.
Beyond Average has intern. Beyond Average podcast has interns.
Well, there you go. They've done it right. Yeah.
But so because I think that is true. If they could get an intern similar to what Josh was doing, you get an intern or a different intern every day, like in their live clipping, whatever it could get on. You get on mic. There could be an interesting scenario that comes up. You know what I mean? I think that's true. A team of interns probably is needed. I guess now there's no live show for a bit. It's going into the summer. It's all the focus is 100% on the show. I have another thing after this.
We'll put a pin in that, BA. Go continue. The floor is yours.
Yeah. But are we go with the intern stuff?
Well, the only thing I would add to that is like, remember how good the intern show was? Like, so you get those guys, you get the interns in the mix, and maybe you mix them in with the producers. Then maybe Justin and Coleman relax a little bit and they start to talk like human beings. So I think that would actually be a really good show.
Yeah,
but you got to get two.
It's so. If you listen to that show in audio form only, you'd think there's a gun next to their head.
Oh my
They are
god,
so uncomfortable and so unnatural.
Yeah, like it's a hostage situation. And
It's so bizarre, man.
Reading for Justin is so
weird.
nervous. So Coleman's a little more loose, which I think I told Ziggy I'm a Cole man. I'm gonna put my hat in the ring to be a Cole man because he's a nice guy. I think he is doing a good job.
Yeah, off like nothing came yesterday, but I think as a person, like, do I agree with his whole lifestyle? Probably not. I think he's probably gonna end up in hell when it's all said and done. But he's a great guy. He's like a generally
very
nice
good
guy.
Some of the worst sports. Like, did you see his show? Just Pod.
I saw that.
I watched his.
Did you see the clip? Did you see the clip where they're? I think I even knew this, but they're like, "Who did the Yankees blow a 3-game series lead to?"
Yeah,
and I'm pretty. It's the Red
Dodgers,
Sox, right?
Yeah, he said the Dodgers. Then he was like,
he said
"Who they lose? Who they lose in the World Series in 03?" And he was like, "Oh, the Red Sox." It's like,
no, but
no fucking way.
Him not knowing the Yankees blew a 3-game series lead to the Red Sox. Like, I don't follow baseball at all. I don't, and I knew that. Like, I knew that.
That'd be like me being a Met fan just because I wasn't watching baseball, I wasn't alive. Be like, oh, who did the Mets beat in the '86 World Series? Be like, I wasn't alive. I don't know. Like, it's the biggest part of your, one of the biggest narratives of the Yankees past 40, 50 years. Like, that's a huge storyline. You have to know that.
The only thing he's tapped in on, I feel like, and actually knows, is like Disney and Pixar movies. Like that is it. That is the length and width of his actual knowledge. Everything else
starts, where it ends.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything else. I don't know why he keeps continuing this thing where he's a Knicks fan. He's a Knicks fan, Montante. There's no way he's a Knicks fan. You're a Knicks fan. There's no way
he's we've texted during game. He watches them, I think. I think maybe I don't know.
He went to a Knicks game against the Celtics. He didn't know Al Horford was still playing. There's no
I think he's a fan, but he's not like he's not hardcore. Like, he's not even semi.
It's
like,
he's just like noise to him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if the Knicks won the championship, he'd celebrate, kind of thing. But he's not. He doesn't know the ins and outs of the season.
Yeah, he's a perfect.
He won't lose sleep over a loss. Where I'm on the verge of, I'm on my 10th Fox ready to murder myself. Yeah,
right.
Different levels to it.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Tried to call you, just make sure you give. Oh, tried to call you. John just said, tried to call you, make sure you give Don the Jeweler a shout out. Oh, Don the Jeweler, shout out, winning the bracket, defeating the flock. Congratulations, Red. People are saying it was you. You're Don the Jeweler. So congrats.
I'm a Don Jeweler guy. I feel like we're a team. We're in this together. Is the bracket over? Did Don win the whole thing as like a 12 seed? What was he?
He won the whole thing.
Can we not? The bracket's over. Can we not? I hate the fucking bracket.
Can you guys be done with the bracket? BA?
It's the worst of all time.
The bracket started before March Madness and ended after March Madness. That's our CEO, John.
Like, the only time the bracket was good was when you guys brought it in initially, and it was bothering all these old school.
Hey, Red, now you're contributing to it because he'll talk about it.
But it still bothers people.
Yeah. What else do you have?
Okay,
thank you, Montante.
Yeah,
I have another thing. The Minifans across America. Does it happen this year?
No, that was the worst idea in KMS history. That was mind-numbingly terrible.
Like, Big Cat always says this. Like, he's like, "Oh, I make myself future promises." Where I was like, "Yeah, I'll do this. I'll do that." Like, Kirk definitely does that too, where he's like, yeah, we'll do this in the future. But does it happen? Minifans across America.
He does. And not really a shot at Dave, because I like Colony not as much as Red. Well, close. I like Dave a lot. Someone has to be like, if you want to try to do this, we can do this, but this is a god awful idea. This is a hurt. They're like, yeah, we'll do it. It's like, no, like,
do you think they make money? They probably, if they did it right, they'll make money. Pay-per-view each show. Do whatever 10 shows.
No, that's no. Oh, you're talking about something different. We're talking about two different things here.
What am I talking about? What are you talking about?
Red, do you know what I was talking about?
The Minifans across America, where they go to different.
America.
They go to
what the fuck was the Minifans like walking across America? What was that? Wasn't that Minifans across America?
Yes.
Well, no.
So Okay, no,
Go ahead.
the Across America was also, they were bringing that flag,
What was the name of that?
bringing that torch.
Wasn't
over
that
to
technically Minifans Across
yeah,
America?
Minifans Across
So
America.
you're just talking about the live shows across.
I'm talking about the
America.
live show. Like, are they
Two
going
different
to?
things.
Okay,
Two
so
different
Montante,
things.
look at us. Montante and I are on the
Yeah,
same page.
two
right
different
here.
Oh,
things.
sorry.
I think those.
I'm
boys.
talking about the.
I think those will
the,
happen.
Yeah.
So you think they'll happen this year? You think
They're supposed to happen this year. I think they
Yeah.
will happen because I think the one thing that Kirk will want to do is drive across America. So I think that's very appealing to him. I think that's why he chose, not only because Sheldon from North Dakota is blue collar and he's a sexy motherfucker, but he's also trying to get over. He wants to drive to North Dakota. That's the reason why he set it up that way. Like, you want to get out there, and that's a good drive. Like, so there's reasons why Kirk wanted to do that. I'm assuming that shit's going to happen. And Coleman and Justin will go for that ride too.
Yeah.
So
would you, if you're selling that on pay-per-view, say there's 6 shows, for argument's sake, there might be more, might be less. Would you do, hey, here's a package for $49.99, you get all 6, or would you individually sell each show?
I think they could. That's a good.
Which one would you
idea.
do? Which one would you do?
I think you would do both. You would do both.
No. There's either. If you
can only do either or.
Yeah, every show individually.
Like, you can only buy,
or
you can
$15.
only buy all of them.
Yeah, it's a series. It's a series.
Okay.
but who is going to get to every show? Like,
I mean, I think he means
pay-per-view.
Well, I
for
would
the
buy.
pay-per-view.
I would buy the whole thing. I would say they should do both because you get the one-off.
Individual or 60 for all
I feel
6.
like you got to pay-per-view every show. You got to pay-per-view.
You have to.
You have to do
That's
that.
the only way it makes sense.
Yeah, and then you sell every individual show, like the size of the Subway show. You sell that, like whatever North Dakota, that's probably going to be a very small show. So you sell that for the individual in attendance, but then you also pay-per-view everybody, like for every show.
I hope that happens. I think those would be good because, like, right now, like heading into coming off this break. In soccer, they call it international break, where they, it's kind of a lull in the season. And you come back. Like, what are the 2 or 3 storylines? Like, I think like everything's kind of calm and relaxed with the producers. Maybe the weight loss thing. I feel like that's kind of lost steam.
Well, I mean, Justin looked pretty good.
They both look skinny, so
they both look bad. They both did look good.
So that competition seems like it's still on, but it has lost steam only because I don't think they've been able to get back in. They just got to get back into the shows, right? So they got to get that thing going.
Is there anything else that what are going to be some of the big
topics in the world?
Yeah, there's no really enemies at the moment.
It's kind of like but I think it'll be good to just. Sometimes it shows that the best shows are the ones where they're in there for 2 hours talking about absolutely nothing, and then but it leads there's so many little funny moments, that just make you laugh. Like, it doesn't always have to be this the huge thing, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it's always
how about
Mutt
to Barstool? Did you see that clip?
It's gotta happen.
Hilarious. It
has the best clip. He's like, why is everyone saying Mutt to Barstool? Then they're like,
it's just one guy.
It's just one guy, David in Maryland.
I don't know. I don't understand how this happens. Like, I don't know why this won't happen. Like, all Mutt is asking for is maybe $35,000 a year.
Well, the thing is, Dave. Well, so this is the way I look
Dave
at it.
bets Mutt's salary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I put $50-$60 on a game, right? So if I was that rich and $50-$60 my normal unit was someone's yearly salary, like, all right, yeah, go ahead.
Pay him $40,000.
I think if
side hustle,
Kirk,
it's like a side hustle. So he goes.
Mutt would never ask Kirk, but if Mutt just asked Kirk, hey, listen, don't make fun of me. I put together a plan for Portney. Can you please just deliver it to him? Or privately, or however if you want to bring it up on the show, however you want to deliver it. But can you please do it? If he did it, even if he made an absolute mockery on a show and they made fun of him for 2 hours, it would end with him getting a contract offer. But Mutt has his he won't put his pride to the side and do it.
Like, I know Montante, you probably know. Like, how much is Clemmer making right now?
More than you'd imagine.
Really? So
he makes under $100,000 though.
It's right around there.
Right around there. Okay, but to live in New York, I'm assuming
from what I've heard.
So he could pay Mutt far less, and Mutt would be very happy with that. And I think
all Mutt wants the title and a purpose.
Right.
Hey, I work at Barstool Sports. How much do you make? Don't worry about it.
Right.
Well, if he gets paid $40,000 a year, it's $40,000 more than he's getting right now.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get why he doesn't hire Mutt and do the horse racing stuff, and then you have Mutt as a weekly contributor to KMS, It all just goes hand in hand. I don't.
And it makes too much sense.
He comes in he comes in at the KMS. He does the mud stack,
because
and then you could do the mud stack still,
the three guys that I want on KMS every week, the three guys are all named Mike. Okay, you got Mike Geary, you got Mike Mutnansky, and you got Mike Montante. Those are the three guys.
Wow,
those are the three.
What a moment!
I want every week.
I'm blushing.
Listen, so I'm saying like you could make that happen. You got the seller in Montante, you got Mutt doing his horse racing thing, and you got Blind Mike coming in for free. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's true. Have those three and then fill out the pick and play. Because if it's just like Mutt and Kirk is all right, Mike and Kirk's all right. Montante, has it ever just been you and Kirk in studio?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was the first one in there through Clemmer. That was before you had the third chair. It was kind of he was nervous. He had shingles and shit. Mutt was kind of a miserable prick before the live show.
Really?
Was he? He
didn't. He wasn't being mean.
He just gave like
nervous energy.
Do you think he was nervous coming into that Weston bar? Because I think he was at the lunch with you guys, right, Red?
Oh,
there's probably like 10. It was probably like a small group, right? 10 people.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
But
came in, had lunch with us. Okay, not a big deal.
But then he goes to that Weston bar and it's like double the people. Maybe it's more over.
And he was holding court there. I could see him with Casey.
Yeah, he was like, Heineken 0.
Yeah,
just get a water, dude.
I will say that he definitely he seemed like he was hurting from the shingles. I'm not gonna lie, like he came in like the way he was walking, you could definitely tell he was hurting.
I was like, are you good? Like you come off like a prick. He's like, nah, I just can't drink the antibiotics. And I was like, all right, because at least Casey was like, drinking
Casey grabbed some wine.
Drinking her wine, flirting with Steve a little bit. She was leaning into it.
Yeah. Casey was funny. Casey is funny. Montante's like, so what are you guys doing? And she's like, we're fucking on stage or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good moment. I was like, it was like between us, like I won't say anything. Like, you guys got something going on during the show, and she's like, yeah. She's like, well, I'll be honest, like, we're fucking on stage, and I was like, oh, nice. Like, there you go.
Attaboy. All right, let's go
right to it.
Yeah, but it was a great weekend. I don't really have much more. I don't know. Do you guys have anything?
So my thing is BA, you're a very social guy. So like who are the Minifans? Like we're already an hour and 12 minutes and Sheldon's not here. John is definitely inebriated somewhere. So like who was the Minifan that surprised you the most, or who was the Minifan who was there a female Minifan in the mix? Did you go home with anybody? I'm just curious, like the inside baseball stuff of that.
No,
me and BA went home together.
Yeah, that's true.
And what we do, what we do when the lights go off is nobody's business.
Who are you guys? Eiffel Tower?
Let's just put it. Let's just put it this way. There have been rumors about BA not being able to get hard. Fake news. Let me just say
fake news.
Okay, right.
Thank you, Montante. I appreciate that.
I'm here.
That's my brother right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
John and Warren, I would say, John and Warren and his buddy, that was a pleasure to have the Friday night with. That was a really funny Friday night, like post bar, going back to the place, doing some mushrooms. That was fun.
Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Put you right to sleep. Apparently,
yeah.
I've never had. I took a teeny bite and it was like fucking 8 melatonin at once. I was like.
Yeah, we were just laughing.
I could see you two just giggling outside that elevator.
Now it's pretty much because there was like a handicap elevator, and I was like, Montante, where's the retard elevator? We're just in the hotel just laughing like it was the dumbest. It's like it's not even a funny comment. And
so stupid.
The John and Warren, but a lot of people like really were.
No one had a bad week, I don't think.
No one had. There wasn't like someone that stuck out. Like, oh, this guy's.
Well, other than Boomer and Haverville.
Yeah. Other than the guys that got kicked out, who was the second guy who got kicked out?
I don't think he's well known on social media.
No, one of those guys. Okay.
Yeah. And I said tongue in cheek. I think Boomer's like a nice guy, but I was shocked to hear that was him. But
yeah.
The funny part was, so a lot of people will come up and be like, "Oh, hey BA, hey Montante, how's it going?" But then there's like the group that are like me and Montante are beside each other, and they're just like, "Hey Montante, how's it going?" And then they look at me like, "Oh, hey man, I'm John." So I'm like, so there's the group
that
the
like, people are not on Twitter.
They're not on Twitter. Or they don't watch the network, right? So and that I found that was funny. But a lot of people like Montante, like everyone is saying, coming up to Montante, hey, how's it going? the best was I was talking to these 3 guys. They're like, "Oh, we're not on Twitter." I'm like, "Oh, I'm BA." They're like, "Oh yeah, we heard of you." And I was like, "Do you know that guy Jay, the weirdo that calls in?" They're like, "Yeah, that guy's so fucked." And I was like, "Well, he's right here." And then I introduced him to Jay.
Even he was not as terrible as he could be.
No, Jay was fine. John,
no one
John.
had a
I would say
rivalry.
hanging out with John. John was a good. Actually, hanging out with me and Montante got to spend 30 minutes with Kirk in the morning. That was kind of funny, just busting balls. So that was
Kirk, for someone who does not like social gathering and stuff, he's good at it.
Right, yeah. I don't know
he could turn the light on and be good when he has to be. Like, there's some people in front of a camera who suck, and then they know who are great, but then you put them in person, they're fucking weirdos. Like, he's not that.
Yeah, because I remember when he walked in, and I was like, "Oh fuck," because then I got a bit awkward. Like, I don't want to, because I feel like I don't want to bother this guy but he was asking us like, "What's the draw? What happened after I left?" And he hung out like 20 minutes, like just talking about nothing, right? And I'm like, "Oh fuck." He's more of a normal guy than you.
That morning was funny because we get down, we get dragged to the bar to drink vodka, which is probably not a tough sell for that guy for being transparent. But you see, like, I'm like, "Oh, hey, Julie, like, how's it going?" She's so fresh. Like, "Yeah, I'm getting coffee for the guys." And I was like, "All right, go, like, keep up the good work." And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you?
I said this. I've never seen someone work so hard, but I have no idea what she's doing. You know, Julie, like, she was hardest worker, but I'm like,
she was
what
working her ass off.
Yeah, she's working hard, but
I imagine she's that person in the office who's just like constantly like looking stressed out and probably doing nothing on the computer, but absolutely just flustered. Like, I could see her just stressed out, grabbing water or grabbing coffee. Like, that was her whole thing.
The funniest moment was seeing her panic during the when they're looking for Steve when he's blacked out.
Because she was running around down the sides.
Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna find him like under his seat? Like, he's not here. He's not here.
Yeah, and also it's like it's not like on Julie. It's not like Julie. Steve, it's on Steve. It's not on Julie.
Right. They're asking for Steve on the microphone. Everybody in the building can hear it, even if he's in the green room. I'm sure he can hear it. Like,
fucking doing laps.
She's like going nuts.
Action. She's back there just moving around. If I look like I'm moving around, then I look like I'm busy, and Kirk will like me, and then I can be friends with people. Like that's all I imagine Julie's doing back there.
The best was Montante. Like, Kirk comes in and like it was, maybe it's a little awkward at the beginning. Montante's like, "Hey, do you have any? Can you give us any inside scoops for the show? I promise I won't tell anyone anything."
He was good about that.
That was a good one. That was funny. But yeah, Julie, hardest worker. That I don't know what she's doing.
I would say though, I would rank this number one of the most overall fun weekends. Live show went off flawlessly for the most part. Kirk. There's a couple times at the end. Kirk was getting a little chippy when things weren't going totally smooth, and I think he was a little put off by, just like the producer show, the inability for them to hold announce a conversation when he wasn't there. But for the most part, it was fucking absolutely flawless.
Yeah, because the Steve Units thing was going on, and it definitely was going on longer, but it would have been okay
for too long.
Like it was off the stage, probably doing whatever he needed to do, taking a break. And it would be nice if Coleman and Justin felt comfortable enough to maybe do a little bit of back and forth with Mike and not leave him just hanging up there as he's doing it. But they're just not comfortable. They can't do it.
I said that I felt like all the videos hit pretty well. Like the videos were all pretty awesome.
Oh, the beginning was absolutely perfect. Mine was so chopped up it was impossible to tell what was happening, but it was an absolute slam dunk. I'll be honest, I'm not offended. I'm not offended by much, and I wasn't offended by it, but I was taken aback by the baby video. The Justin thing?
Baby video went on. Like,
I
think that was the point. Like, that was the point. Like, it was supposed to make everyone uncomfortable because me and Montante, like, at the beginning, you're like, "Oh, this is kind of funny."
Yeah.
And then some of the pictures come up, and then me and Montante were like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah, is that legal? I was like, "Oh my god!"
So, BA, you're always like you got like Menners like on your brain all the time. You love Menners so much. I need you to defend Menners in this, and that Menners was trying to claim that people were leaving because of the video. People had been leaving the state dinner.
So
I had heard that. That's what Menners had been saying, that people were leaving because of the video. That's what he was claiming, like in the back channel.
I honestly, I didn't see only time people left was like during like at the end, Born in the USA, like you could see
Or
some
yeah,
people
or
starting
like
to
or to
leave.
watch
Right.
the end of the Clemson game. Some people left early.
Some people, maybe it was Montante, maybe
Right,
not.
maybe.
But that was like near. You knew the show was over.
So that's like Menner's just like waving his hands, waving his arms, and trying to get noticed, right? Like that's all that he's doing.
In
'Cause
Menner's
I don't-
defense, if you listen to, and Lord knows you listened to more than we should have of that show that night, he was grasping for straws for things to talk
Oh
about.
man, that was the worst.
all
was the
he's
worst.
trying to do is call you guys to try to get you guys in trouble. Like he's like, oh man, I heard it was 50%. Like I feel bad.
No,
for
it
you.
was
like there's something wrong with Menner's. Like
I guess he
losing
wanted.
it.
I don't know. Menners is like
It's a
Menners
sad
is
little
always.
man.
The question I got all weekend was like, what's up with Menners? Like what's Menners'
Yeah.
deal? Like that's what everyone was
Put
asking.
him. He put
And I
him on
said
suicide watch.
I was
he-
he's 100% serious, but he's 100% joking too. He like walks this fine
he
line
floats.
of like.
He floats. He loses track once in a while.
I think he loses.
where
Then he
is.
loses. He goes on one side or the other, but he's always kind of fucking around. But you could tell all he really wanted to do was be there in the mix with, because if Menners was there,
it comes from jealousy.
Steve from,
he wants
if
to be there.
Menners is there, Steve from Gloucester goes down a peg, and Menners is like the number one cloak
Yeah.
guy.
I would
Like
think-
you know what I mean? Like everyone's
yeah.
like you see Menners waddling
yeah.
into the room, like
he waddles over to that bar stool and he has to
Everyone's
get up.
looking-
you pick him up, you place him down.
Yeah, you place
If-
him on the
if-
bar next.
If
to
Menners lived in
Casey.
Boise, Idaho, I would assume he's traveling to every live show,
oh for
Oh,
sure,
right?
100%.
I mean, it is an absurd travel from literally down under. So, but yeah, he just wants to be there so bad. And like, if I lived there, I would probably I'd want to be there too. But like, I'd be able to separate and watch my cricket and like fuck off for a little bit, and then like hear about it a week later. Where he knows the show's happening and he's just obsessively thinking about it.
Yeah.
oh yeah. He was trying to
I'm
text.
worried
I
about
think he was
him,
trying
man.
to text me during the show. Because like
I had
during
no
the show,
service,
like during the show, no service, but also like it was a pretty captivating. Like there wasn't like a time where I was like, oh, this
No.
is kind of boring. Even like you said for the songs, like songs are all right. Like do I love all the songs? Not really. Like, but it's
No.
a good time to go get some beers, take a piss.
No, yeah,
You know?
it's a 3-hour show. Like you got to get up, you got to take a piss, you got to hit the bar. Kirk's going to come up and do his thing too, so he's hitting all the fans up in the upper. Like it's a necessary tool for the show,
Yeah.
but
And
it's
it's
not.
like-
It's not for everybody.
It's for him
That's
to
okay.
live out his
Oh yeah,
fantasy. a
if
little bit.
Barstool was like, hey, like Kirk, like for copyright infringement or whatever, like you can't do any more songs. Kirk's like, all right, no problem. I'll do my show 3 times a week. We're done with live shows.
Right.
He talks and entertains just so he can sing 100%.
Yeah. Also,
There's no way
though,
around it.
but then like some of the live songs, like the Mutt song was great. Like the
Nice biceps.
pedophile one was all right. You know, like that was a crazy. That's like a crazy moment where like you're not leaving. You're like, what's gonna happen here? You know, the Mutt one, the Stephen Gloucester case, the drips dancing around. Like it is funny seeing them take off their shirt, dancing around to Born to Be Wild. At first, I was like, "What's going on?" And then it was Born to Be Wild, and I started laughing. I was like,
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the drips, like I don't think I'm hanging out. Like I'm probably not hitting the bathroom. So like the fact that the drips were there, like that was really good. Obviously, Mutt and Kirk rapping, which again, Mutt crushed it. Kirk was offbeat. He was not able to rap as much as Mutt was able to do, and I blame the band for that because they weren't able to keep the beat. Is what it is. They're not rapping.
I heard that criticism.
But I mean,
Mutt really did a good job.
Mutt crushed it.
Mutt got, I think, besides Blind Mike, the
Brown
biggest
Mike, whoa.
pop. The Blind Mike.
Brown Mike.
Did I say Brown Mike?
Yeah, he certainly did.
I've been sick for like 2 weeks, man. It's so crazy. It's like
Listen, now I want to see Brown Mike on the show. I don't
Brown
know.
Mike?
We did
That would be
today,
good.
Blind Mike in studio.
Yeah.
A couple weeks back.
yeah, that is true. But Mutt got like a huge pop. At first, I was like, "Who's gonna?" I thought his brother was actually gonna come out. Like, I thought his brother was gonna.
I
out.
thought it was going to be Pimp Ryan Minahan. Like,
Oh
off of that.
yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's a sneaky good Twitter account, or was. I don't know if he's
You
still
know, the part he's still active. You know the part that threw everybody off and just confused everybody was I don't know if that was Blind Mike's dad or not.
I don't think it was.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But like
Yeah.
people were like, hey, do you know like if that was? I was like,
Right.
I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, I don't know.
Was that just like a random guy?
I think it was just some guy that just pulled
They
up.
just pulled him up. It's like
Because they feel like the age, it might work. I don't know.
I
Right.
really wish though, because I'm one of those guys like in the like so I knew I liked the show because there was like, or I knew I loved the videos because I was laughing the whole time. But I have the worst memory where I'm like, what I'm definitely missing like a couple videos unless I was gonna take notes.
Yeah.
So like I wish they would release him so you could like kind of relive those moments, right?
Right. I do like the business part of it. I guess it makes sense. Like you have to go if you have any of that FOMO, so you have to go to
Yeah.
live shows to see those videos. That intro video was
That intro video
phenomenal. That was
the intro
some
video-
of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
It set the tone. Like if the intro video didn't hit, like it kind of set the tone for the night. Like if there wasn't big laughs, but the when Mick goes, "This is Mick bait, motherfucker." Whatever.
No,
This is Mick Bait,
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was like you
Mick
knew it
was great
gonna
in
be-
there. It was
You
awesome.
knew it was gonna be a funny show.
Yeah.
But
VA, some of us got a 940 first pitch to get to. Me and Red got some money on the got some coin in the game.
Yeah.
you got coin on what game?
I got to check out my lineups. I know we got a couple games coming up. I got
Oh, we got baseball tomorrow.
Well,
tonight.
boys.
Tonight. Okay, yeah, no problem. I
Tonight's
thought John was gonna come on for calls, but I guess he didn't. But yeah, it was great.
Oh,
chatting.
if John wants to hop on for call, I'll hop on for a few minutes. But
No, he didn't. He hasn't shown. He said he was gonna come on at 9, but he never did.
I think Sheldon's still working too, so I think we did it, boys. That's an hour and a half show. Right there.
We did it.
We gave it
Great
all.
show. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get heat from all the trolls. Oh,
You're
BA,
such a pussy,
You're a
BA.
pussy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll take it.
How
I was
dare you.
saying though. This show is like a Kemp is like as Kemp focus. It's not about gotcha moments and all that stuff.
Well, I
Maybe
don't
I'm-
understand the dudes. I guess we can leave this here, but the dudes who are like upset with the show, like, and upset with people who had a good time at a live show. Like, the live show is great, but also the Minifans are also fucking great. So, like,
Well-
everybody's gonna have a great time. Like,
it's all
what are you supposed to be critical
all
of?
a part of the same package.
Well,
Right.
what I would say, what someone was saying this is it. Do you go more for the weekend with the camaraderie, or do you go more just for the show? Like I think.
yeah.
Go ahead, Red, because I think
Well-
you're probably more just for
Well,
the show.
it's different. I think I go for it depends on the show. Like the Sacco, I can't sing the praises enough about the Sacco drive-in shows. If it's and
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be Sacco,
Those are
but
the best.
if you're going to the
Those are the
drive-in,
best.
the drive-in is the best combination of live show and social aspect because you're hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, there's grills, everybody's hanging out playing beer pong,
Mhm.
whatever. It's a much more of a social where people get to hang out. Like if you're at Portland, then you're bouncing from bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant. Everybody's there at the drive-in. So
Yeah.
I think if you're going for just a live show, then obviously the Wilbur or the State Theater, that's great. But I think the best environment by far would be the drive-in, the Saco drive-in, where you get to
I
see all the
agree.
Minifans and you get a great live show. That's
Agreed.
the fucking
And
best.
like
100%.
watching it, like
Yeah.
standing around the stage watching it with everyone is a cool
Well,
experience.
it's
Well,
the
the best
fucking
best part of tailgates, if you go to a football game, watching football live is horrific, but the best part is the tailgate. You
Yeah.
get a show in the same place they're having fun in the tailgate. It's
100%.
fantastic.
That's the best. 100%.
Agreed.
All right, boys.
best.
Well, it was great. It was great. It was great chatting. We'll be back. Well, hopefully we're back next week. But if not, well wishes. Best of luck.
BA is
What-
always
what-
so bad at wrapping these up. It's
I know this.
remarkable.
He's so
Bring it home, bring it home, bring it
uncomfortable.
home, bring it home, bring it home.
It
All right,
feels like
boys.
it feels like Coleman and Justin right now. Coleman,
That's
you got this,
remarkable.
man.
I can't wrap it up, but
Okay.
with that being said, I will wrap it up right now. Good night. Good night. Good
No
luck.
worries.
And see you later.
Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You wanna be with DC and RA Minahan. The host can't see it's Mike in the Minifans.